Did you know that there is a simple, timeless way to design an amazing holiday and it has nothing to do with where you go, what you do, or how much you spend? And it's one of the most critical steps that most of us miss when planning a holiday. I remember a conversation I had with a guy from Chicago, a guy called Lawrence, who I coached. And he had a young family and he worked super hard during the year. And he finally managed to carve out 10 days of annual leave to head to Hawaii to lie by the pool with his kids. And he did all the planning. He got a hotel, he booked flights, he bought snorkels and updated his passports, and they were set for this exciting family trip together. But he didn't do one thing, and it came back to bite him big time. What am I talking about? Well, strangely enough, it's actually about unplugging from email when you're having a break and actually having a plan to deal with your work so that you can mentally unload and actually have the best holiday ever. So my name's Daniel C. I'm a productivity consultant, and I wrote a course a number of years ago called Email Ninja, how to take back control of your email inbox and get it to zero each day. We've had nearly 500,000 students over that time who have gotten their inbox to zero. And one of the questions people often ask me is, how do I deal with email when I'm on holidays? Because I go away and I come back to a complete mess and it makes my holidays stressful. If you're a busy leader or professional or business owner, it can be super hard to unplug and truly rest even if you're not at work because of this constant churn of emails. And so by the end of this video, you'll have a few really smart strategies that work for thousands of people that I've worked with in order to take time off, unplug, and enjoy the best holiday ever. So in this video, I want to teach you 5 smart email strategies that you can put in place before and when you're on holidays in order to tame the email monster and enjoy the best holiday ever. I've trained thousands of people in these strategies and they work. These strategies will not only help you keep on top of your email inbox when you get back, but they'll help you to relax your mind to enjoy a well-deserved break rather than compulsively checking emails on holidays. So put in place a simple plan and a few strategies and you can dramatically improve the quality of your rest and therefore the quality of your life. So on the plane, Lawrence said to his wife, "Hey, I do have to just check in on email when I'm away. My plan is to check in on email first thing in the morning and only respond to anything that's urgent." And that sounded like a fine plan. Then they would actually spend the rest of the day together doing their stuff. The problem is he massively underestimated the impact of just checking his emails, not just on the amount of time that he spent on email, but also on how it impacted his mental state and the holidays. I found the same thing. It's not just the time that you spend checking emails when you're away, but it's also the cognitive load that happens when you do. I'm a knowledge worker, so I'm paid to think. And when I'm on holidays, I don't want to be thinking about projects and people and YouTube videos. I want to be able to simply unplug and be present where I am and to disconnect from work mentally as well as physically. And when I open up my email and just happen to read about problems that are occurring or opportunities that might be in my inbox, I immediately start to think I either need to respond to those emails or I have to put cognitive energy into not responding. And yet then I find I keep thinking about those emails throughout the day, and it changes my ability to enjoy my rest. So when you're on holidays, it's super important to find a way of disconnecting from email altogether, to not check in, to not hear about what's happening in the workplace, being able to come back to work having had space to be human so that you can enter the workplace refreshed. So let me give you 5 email ninja strategies to help you unplug, make space, and take back control of your mind and your time when you're on holidays. So strategy number 1, remove the email app from your phone. So whenever I have a decent holiday, 1 or 2 weeks of annual leave, I remove the Gmail app from my phone. The reason I do that is because I'm so used to checking email throughout the day that I have this kind of habitual addictive behavior where I keep checking in, even if I don't want to, even if I'm trying not to. And so to reduce temptation and actually clear my mind and have an email-free holiday, I simply delete the app. Now, when you delete the Gmail app or whatever app you use on your phone, you don't lose the emails, you simply lose the ability to compulsively check when you're on leave. When I get back to work, I just reinstall the app and I'm back to where I was. Simple. My second strategy is to fake the date, meaning I tell people that I'm returning to work one day after I actually am. So let's say I'm returning to work on a Monday. Well, I tell people that I'm returning to work on the Tuesday. And here's the reason. I find it stressful being away and not checking my emails and knowing that when I come back, there's going to be hundreds or even thousands of emails that have accumulated when I've been away. And I don't want to hit the ground running and feel like I'm already behind on emails and meetings and all the things I need to do. I really like having a full day just to plan my way back into work and to reset my email communications. So it's great. I know that on my first day at work, I have no meetings because I'm not at work. I'll open up my email at home and I'll just spend the day processing the things that are important, archiving what doesn't matter, actioning stuff that does matter. And here's the kicker. When I respond to emails, I use a scheduled send function, which means that at 8:31 on the Tuesday, I've responded to everyone's emails. Look how efficient I am, but no one gets an email on my day of return. Otherwise, they might realize I'm actually back at work, and then I would get into that email churn and find it hard to actually get through my inbox. So this works if you're a small business owner like myself. Just tell your clients on your out of office message that you're returning a day later than you actually are. But if you work in a team, it also works. Just tell your team that you're returning a day later, work from home, and you should probably let your boss know that this is your strategy because you need to be paid. So fake the date, that simple strategy has really helped me because it means that I know I can return and get my inbox to zero and under control without habitually checking during my annual leave. Email Ninja tip number 3, set a brave out of office response. Now, almost everyone creates an out of office response when they head away on leave. I'm out, I can't respond to your emails and therefore blah, blah, blah. But what if you were to create a braver, clearer out of office response? For example, let people know that you're on leave, that you value deep rest, that you value the importance of space, and you won't catch up on 2 weeks of work, which you weren't paid for when you get back. Instead, your plan is to archive all the emails that arrive in the next few weeks when you get back, and for people to re-email you on your return to work date if they need a response. Now, that may sound a bit radical, but honestly, why should we catch up on 2 weeks of work when we're not paid to work? Why should we ruin our holidays simply because email doesn't stop? And so as a result of that, if you have clever conversations with people around you and set an out of office, it can actually help you set expectations and return again with a zero inbox. Here's an example of what I've used myself. Thanks for your email. I'm on leave making space after a busy year. To truly rest, I plan to archive all messages when I get back rather than catching up on work that comes in during my holidays. Please re-email me after the, 16th of February to receive a response to your message. In the past, I've ended with kind of a joke saying, and I'm a productivity consultant, not a neurosurgeon. The world will not end. So that's it. Set a brave out of office, archive emails when you return, and you're back at zero. Here's my Email Ninja strategy number 4. Again, it's quite commonly used, but make sure that there's someone else who can respond to the urgent stuff. Clearly, in a lot of roles, things come up. Urgent or important things do come up that need a response before you return from holidays. So therefore, it's important in your out of office message to give an alternative next step about who people can contact in the event of a true emergency. Now, this is a lot easier if you work in a corporate environment, if you have a team where you can find another colleague and actually say, if you need an urgent response in my absence, please email Tanya@company.com. This simple addition to your out of office means that you can relax knowing that Tanya is able to deal with the complex stuff that comes up in your absence. It's really helpful. Now, of course, if you work for yourself, particularly if you're a sole business owner or have a small team, it can be more complicated. This is a bit like my situation where I can't necessarily get other people in my team to do what I could do in my absence. This makes it harder, but certainly not impossible. Just takes some thinking and a bit of creativity. Last year, I took a whole month off. I went overseas with my family, I disconnected from the internet, and I didn't check anything work-related for 3 out of 4 weeks. It was amazing, but it took some planning. And one of the things I did is I hired a virtual assistant who's not on my payroll, but she was there to actually help me unplug from email by providing some responses to important or urgent messages when I was away. So what I did for the month before I went away, I got a piece of paper out and I simply wrote down all the different types of inquiries that came through my website. I thought about the types of urgent messages that came in that month and the types of messages that I might need to respond to. And I just jotted them down. And then I got a Word document and I just wrote a template. If this happens, for example, someone inquires about training, well, this is the response. And here's my Calendly link so that they can book a meeting with me on my return. Or if the website goes down, here's my website designer, and this is what you might say. It actually wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And with about 10 or 12 canned emails written on a Word document, I felt pretty confident that all the things that might come up would be dealt with. And I had a catch-all template for things that we couldn't predict, which was simply, thanks for your message, Daniel C is away on annual leave. Regrettably, we can't respond until he returns. I think even having received that type of message, people are like, well, okay, he's not here, I'll wait for a few weeks. So it might be a bit more work, but create a few templates, find someone who can write responses, and enjoy time without email. My final suggestion, and I kind of like it, is if everything else fails, just declare email bankruptcy. And what I mean by that is, when you get back to work, just archive all the emails that have popped in and reboot from zero. Now, there's kind of a grace period if you've been away for a few weeks. And when people email you or speak to you in a meeting and say, hey, did you get my email? Just play dumb. Just say, oh, I'm sorry. I've been on annual leave and I've had a heap of emails. I must have just missed that one. Can you please re-email? Within a few weeks, these kind of random things that you've missed will stop popping up and you're back on track. It's not as crazy as it sounds, but just don't tell your boss that the email ninja guy told you to do it. Blame someone else. So hopefully these 5 simple strategies can help you take back control of your email inbox after you've had leave. So just to recap, the first strategy is to delete your email app from your phone. The second strategy is to fake the date and return a day earlier than people expect. The third strategy is to set a Brave out of office where you archive stuff and let people know that that's what you plan to do. The fourth strategy is to make sure that there is an alternative person who can respond to the urgent stuff. And finally, declare email bankruptcy without blaming me. Look, at the end of the day, we take email so seriously, but it's not as important as we think it is. No one ever on their deathbed said, I wish I'd spent more time checking my email when I was on my beach holiday. You know, let's get back to what really matters. Time with family matters. Time resting matters. Time enjoying and exploring the beauty and wonder of this world matters when we're not at work. So let's put a few simple strategies in place in order to tame that email beast, stay in control of email, and have the best holiday ever. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video, then I would really encourage you to visit emailninja.au and view my free Email Ninja mini course. Email Ninja is about helping you take back control of your email inbox and processing your inbox to zero each day. I've trained nearly 500,000 people in how to do this with lots of follow-up, and it really works. So these videos are free. Visit emailninja.au and learn to think differently about how you email, learn to set up new working folders, learn to delegate like an email master. It's all for free. If making space for things that really matter connects with you, then I'd love you to like and subscribe to receive more great content. One of the best ways to truly make space in your life is actually to make space in your inbox, to reduce the amount of stress, to stop losing actions, and just to get control of your life again at work and outside of work. So I hope you enjoy these videos. But until next time, make space.